That's right. Just one more sleep to go, folks, before the biggest show in town hits Churchill Reserve, home of St Albans Dinamo. My name is Tonchi Prusats, and I'm your host for DinamoTV tonight. And it's going to be an absolute pleasure to be with you over the next 60 minutes because we've got some ripper guests tonight in our very, very special Wednesday night pre-tourney edition of DinamoTV. We've got Danny JUTRISA, Lucy HRBOLIC and SUZIE ILIC, all members of the Tournament Organising Committee. They'll be joining us to give us all the latest news, the updates and the announcements as well regarding the tournament, which kicks off tomorrow. And by this time tomorrow night, we will have had the opening ceremony. We would have had the opening round of matches, and Dinamo's Churchill Reserve club rooms will be absolutely pumping. Also on tonight's show, we've got the Fab Four from the Major Minor, MICKY COLINA, SPOLJAR, PETAR, KARDUM and HRVOJEVIC also joining us to talk about their brand new single, their official anthem of this year's Dinamo tournament. And it's an ode to a Novi Fosili classic za dobra, stara, vremena for all the good old times. That's coming on a little bit later on in the show. Folks, don't go away. It's DinamoTV. We're going to take our first commercial break and back with the news desk.
The I&D Group is regarded as one of the largest deliverers of concrete structure solutions in Victoria. Formed in 1994 by Ivan and Kathy Filipovic, their passion and commitment to getting the job done safely and economically has underpinned their success in the industry. I&D partners with large-scale building and construction companies in both the private and public sectors on projects large and small. With our corporate headquarters based in South Melbourne and storage yard based in the southeast suburbs, we have at our disposal thousands of square metres of quality materials along with state-of-the-art lifting and crane equipment, enabling us to deliver the largest projects. We are committed to delivering high-quality projects by partnering with our clients and collaborating with project suppliers to ensure each job is delivered to exceed expectations. From humble beginnings, I&D now employs more than 1,200 dedicated professional and support staff, involved in a number of landmark projects right across Victoria. The I&D Group is a massive supporter of the Croatian community, backed soccer clubs in Victoria, and is proud to be the major sponsor of the St Albans Dinamo Football Club in 2024.
Yes, it's time for DinamoTV news, and last weekend it was the last round of the Junior Boys NPL program for season, and let's go through the results in the under-14s. They recorded a 5-win away against Heidelberg United, Xavier Bulos scoring 3 goals, Luka Movric 2. The under-15s, they recorded a narrow 3-2 win over sister club Melbourne Knights. Maxim Mikulic, prolific goal scorer that he is, scored another brace. Dylan Basanko, also who scored quite a fair few goals this season, scoring 1 goal. The under-16s, they recorded a very good 2-1 away win against Hume City. There was an own goal and also Sebastian Camilleri scoring. And the under-18s, well, they really dotted the I's and crossed the T's with a lovely 3-1 win over Werribee City in the last round of the season to celebrate their win in the under 18 Division 3 division. And they took out the title a few weeks ago, of course, but Nicholas Mercedes scored 2 goals, Joshua Angelis scoring 1 goal. So obviously the under-18s finished their season in top position. The under-14s and the under-16s both finished in 3rd. So well done to those two teams. And the under-15s finished in 4th. So well done to all of the Junior Boys NPL teams. They did exceptionally well in the league part of the season. All 3 teams ended in the Division 3, and the aim for next year is to at least finish in the Division 2, if not higher. Rightio, let's move along now to tournament fixtures. And first of all, we'll have a look at what we need to do straight away is to look at the tournament app. If you want to find out all the tournament fixtures, make sure you go onto the tournament app. All the information will be there, so you just have to go to all of those. Download the app. Sorry, the CSA Australian Sarves app, wherever you're able to download apps, and you'll have all the updated fixtures, results, etc. There's the fixtures for the Group A and the Group B of the Division 1 competition. And obviously, those fixtures are current and relevant up until the semi-final stage, because obviously that will be decided once the games are underway. Tomorrow, by the way, they kick off at 3 p.m. So some of the games will be obviously at St Albans, others will be at Green Gully. So make sure to download the tournament app there. Event parking information. So there's going to be a lot of information regarding parking and other event information. With regards to the player and public parking, the Green Gully, there's going to be a shuttle bus going from Green Gully to Dinamo, and that's the Grace Street entrance. So buses, as you can see from the image there, the graphic there on screen, buses will run continuously on a 15-minute loop. On Thursday, they start from 11 and go all the way through to 9 p.m. On Friday, from 8 a.m. all the way up to 7 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. And then Sunday, they'll be going from 8 a.m. all the way to 9 o'clock. So Green Gully is the designated parking site as well. So you'll be able to park your cars there and catch the shuttle bus. Now, simply because there's going to be very, very limited parking anywhere around Fox Street. So refer to the street signage on Fox Street and surrounding streets as event day parking. There's no public parking at Dinamo. So that will be reserved, obviously, for officials, volunteers, VIP guests, etc. There'll be no public parking at Dinamo. So consider carpooling, Uber, taxi pickup, drop-off point at Grace Street entry. Take full advantage of that if you can. Event tournament information. So it all kicks off tomorrow with matches commencing at 2 p.m. it says. Matches will be commencing at Green Gully Reserve, and then we'll also have games commencing from 3 p.m. at Dinamo tomorrow. The big opening ceremony, folks, at Churchill Reserve will be at 6 p.m. tomorrow night. There'll be performances by Hrvatska Zora, and there will be entertainment in the Plava Kuća, as the club rooms have been christened, and that will be that entertainment will be provided by Grupa Accord. Then on Friday, we've got the ladies' lunch, we've got the fish night, we've got Friday night disco, and in addition to that, we've also got a lot of football action, both at Green Gully Reserve and at Churchill Reserve. On Saturday, it is the AFL Grand Final day, so we will have the AFL Grand Final on the big screen inside the Dinamo club rooms. There's also the Gala night. There's also the Plava Noć, or both those events being held at Footscray. And then on Sunday, the big day, the big one, Market Day, kicking off at 10 o'clock. Kids Fun Day on Pitch 3 as well. The first finals kick off at 10:15, and all of those finals will be live streamed as well. So don't stay at home and watch those games. Come and ensure that there is a bumper crowd, and it really looks good for all of our interstate viewers, because hopefully if you are in Melbourne, you'll be at Churchill Reserve on Sunday. All of our major folkloric groups from around Victoria will be performing. Mladi Hrvati from Clifton Hill at 12:45, Zvonimir from Springvale at 1:15, Lado from Geelong at 3:15, and then at 3:30, Hrvatska Zora will be also performing in the main hall. So there will be a lot of folkloric activity happening inside the main hall. There'll be a lot of kids' fun activities outside, and of course the big final. All the big finals from 10:15 with the veterans, the masters. We've got the women's Division 1, men's Division 2, and then the final of the men's Division 1 will kick off at 4:30 p.m, followed by the finale, or the after party, if you like. So there's going to be heaps happening there, without a shadow of a doubt. Lots happening all throughout the weekend, kicking off tomorrow. So folks, make sure you do all turn up every day if you can. Every day will be absolutely fantastic. Okay, we're going to take a short break. When we return, it's time for our guests. Our first guest will be speaking to a man who holds a very, very important portfolio, probably the most important portfolio, and we'll find out about that after the break. We'll be speaking to Danny JUTRISA. Welcome back to DinamoTV. It's time now for our first guest for tonight. He's a past president. He's certainly well known at Dinamo, and his family is extremely well known at Churchill Reserve. He's also got one of the most important portfolios when it comes to the upcoming Australian Croatian Soccer Tournament. He's in charge of the alcohol sales. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome to DinamoTV Danny JUTRISA. Danny, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Tonchi. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. Appreciate being on your show, mate.
Yeah, it's a very, very important portfolio, and I'm sure a lot of people will be pundits will be saying, are we going to have enough drinks for the weekend? It's going to be a long, long weekend, starting Thursday afternoon, extending all the way through to Sunday. So how have you gone about organising yourself for this, and what are the contingencies in place, I guess, if it comes to that?
Yeah, it's been a long road. We went through a number of sort of suppliers to review who was the best position, who was in the best position to supply us, and those kind of things. So in the end, we end up going with Bazoom, who's a fantastic supplier of our alcohol, and he's one of the club sponsors already. So it was great to have James and Bazoom on board. And through that process, we've managed to obviously ascertain a lot of alcohol up front, but there's always a contingency that they'll have spare for us in the event that we need to bring it over. So we've got massive cool rooms to enable big loads of alcohol and drinks to come through.
Yeah. How do you look at, obviously it's such a massive task, logistically speaking, and I guess you would have had a lot of support and assistance from previous tournament holders, Adelaide last year, Sydney, the Gold Coast previously. How did you kind of tap into their wisdom, their experience, or did you sort of just go by some of the bigger events that we've held down at Churchill Reserve?
Good question. Yeah, I think it was a bit of both, really. We did actually tap into a lot of the previous tournament figures, if you like, and seeing what sort of worked there. Plus, we had some feedback internally from people and externally about other events and how they went. So yeah, we sort of drew from a number of resources and come up with I think a formula that should do well over the next 4 days of the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, we're expecting big crowds. It's really hard. All you can do is estimate. All you can do is guess, and a lot of it does depend on the Melbourne's weather. But I guess one of the things that always comes to mind is the pure logistics, outlets and things like that. So, has the organising committee organised extra bars around the venue, both at Green Gully Reserve and at Churchill Reserve? And also, what did you have to do? Did you have to get extra permission or permit, I should say, from the council, liquor laws, etc., etc.?
Yeah. So there's definitely going to be a few bars out at Dinamo at Churchill Reserve. So there's going to be two big external bars plus the internal bar that's already at the clubhouse. And then on the Sunday, we should also be having a hill bar, which will facilitate the supporters on the hill. And also at Green Gully, yes, or Killer Wolves, if you like. There will also be, a number of point of sales for alcohol there. So yeah, I don't think that we should at this point in time come into any challenges there. I think there's a lot of support to help out. We've got a lot of registers or point of sales to enable the smooth transition of sales. And just in terms of the liquor licensing, so Ivan Mioch ran that on our behalf with support from the tournament steering committee and the club committee.
Yep.
And yeah, there was a lot of back and forth with it, and there's a few requirements, as probably everyone might know. But maybe something that's really important for people to understand is that we are governed by our liquor licensing, and that will mean, unfortunately, we cannot just provide unlimited drinks per transaction. So there will be a limitation.
Yeah.
And just to let everyone know now, it's a limitation of a maximum 4 alcoholic drinks. And in that transaction, you cannot have more than 2 spirits. So we'll be selling shots, we'll be selling pre-mix, and they are classified as spirits. And you can only have 2 of those in that one four alcohol beverage transaction.
Yeah, that's a good point to know, because us Croatians like to do, shouts and rounds. And when we do it, it's not like 1 or 2 drinks, it's 20 drinks for the whole cellar. But it's good to know. So I guess the word of advice there is if you do go to the bar, make sure you've got someone to help you carry the drinks, and also maybe help to order as well. So that's a really good point to know. And we do want people to be, particularly people from interstate who are coming to Melbourne, just to be also understanding and aware of some of the local laws and local requirements as well. And I guess that's probably also goes into with Sunday night. That's going to be a big party, but is there a limit there as to how deep into the night we can go?
Yeah, we've definitely got a limit in terms of how late we can go. But look, at this stage, I think it's late enough to encapsulate what we need. I think in previous years they've gone into 10 p.m. sort of area. We can do that and further. But look, at the same time, I mean, we need to be mindful that there is a liquor license there, and that it is responsible serving of alcohol. So we just can't go around enabling people to go too wild on the drinks.
100%.
Just to ensure orderly behaviour and the like. So just something important there, just for everyone to know.
And it's also important to know that, Dinamo, we are in the midst of a residential zone as well, residential housing all around us. So also to be wary of, neighbours, especially when you're leaving the premises, not to be obviously too rowdy and too loud and all of that kind of stuff. And that's something that we also need to be aware of. But moving on to other matters, mate, you're a past president. You've been heavily involved in the club in all sorts of aspects, from administration to coaching to volunteering to what you're not. What's this tournament, this 2024 at Dinamo? What's this mean for you? And in your eyes, what does it mean for the club?
For me, it's massive, obviously. As you're probably aware, my dad was one of the founding members, Mario JUTRISA, and so I've been a part of the club since day dot, since I was born. So, haven't missed the beat with the club. And something like this, I've always aspired to ever since I've been in the committee, and it's just fantastic to actually get the opportunity and get the backing from the service and the member clubs to allow us this opportunity to have something like this. And we definitely won't disappoint on that behalf. At the same time, talking to anyone from founding members or people that have been around for decades, everyone's pumped up, everyone's excited about it, and you can just tell by the amount of people that are putting their hand up to help out. So it's been fantastic from that perspective. Speaking
of helping out, many hands make light work, as they say. You must be absolutely thrilled with a lot of the infrastructure improvements happening around the place. There we've got on screen vision of the scoreboard, the electronic scoreboard being erected last week. But Danny, you must be really thrilled with the improvements taking place. Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's been a lot of improvements over the years. We've got over the years, we've got new lights, we've got solar, we've got, refurbishments inside and out of the sala. We've got, just recently the
the car park in between the top ground and the pitch one. That's all concrete, as you can see in those pictures there. And, you know, just to see the marquee come up and it evolve, it has been fantastic. So there's been a heap of volunteers in there and businesses that have helped us through this process, which has been fantastic. There's probably too many to name all at the once, but it's been great.
Yeah, no, it's great to see. And as I said, some of the improvements that are happening, the place is looking amazing. Everything is in readiness. Look at that, the show bags, I guess, with all the merchandise. Merchandise, that's another thing that's been fantastic, but all the hospitality areas and everything like that. So all systems go. I guess, mate, one last word. What would you like to say to anyone visiting Dinamo, to our own army of volunteers? And I think last count there's close to over 300 or something like that. What would be your kind of, last words of advice to people coming?
Look, come down, enjoy yourself. It's going to be a fantastic outing. Obviously, we've put a lot of effort into the setup, as well as all the entertainment and the likes, and I'm sure everyone will enjoy it. Thanks for having us on, Tonchi.
Good on you, mate. Look, it's an absolute pleasure, Danny. Thank you for joining us, and it's going to be a pearler of a weekend. And as you say, the legacy that's left behind, I think the enthusiasm going into what shall be a huge next year. And actually, speaking of next year, now we've got you. I mean, Dinamo celebrating its 50th anniversary next year. You said your dad was one of the co-founders, and so it must be next year's going to be even. Well, if this was a big year, next year's going to be even more special. Hey.
Yeah, look, I hope so. I hope we can emulate something similar. Obviously, the scale may not be as big because you're not getting everyone from all parts of Australia coming down, but the celebration and the heart of the club will be just as big.
Yeah, absolutely. Mate, good on you. Thank you for joining us on DinamoTV.
Thanks, bud. Good
on you. Danny JUTRISA, who's responsible or overseeing alcohol sales, and also he's a past president of St Albans Dinamo Football Club. Folks, we're going to take a very short break here on DinamoTV. When we return, it is time for our next guest. Don't go away. Welcome back to DinamoTV, and you heard now from Danny JUTRISA and his portfolio of looking after the alcohol sales, very, very important part. But now we're going to hear from the ladies, and it's an absolute pleasure to welcome to DinamoTV for the first time this year, two of the lady organisers, two members of the organising committee, SUZIE ILIC and Lucy HRBOLIC. Ladies, good evening. How are you?
Hi, Tonchi. We're good, thanks.
Hi, Tonchi.
How are you?
For having us.
Yes.
Thank you for coming on DinamoTV. Really appreciate it. Susie, first of all, to you, really appreciate it. You had a bit of a croaky voice yesterday. We weren't sure if you were going to come on, but you've made a remarkable recovery, and it must be all the adrenaline now as the tournament is fast approaching. But you've been really, really busy with the ladies' luncheon, amongst other things. But let's talk about that first. How's that all coming along?
Absolutely fantastic. The VIP area is looking amazing, where the event will be held. We're just looking forward to everyone sort of attending. We just want it to be a really big party. Traditionally, the ladies' lunch has been a sit-down event, at most of the tournaments that I've attended, but we've just decided to change things up a little and just bring your dancing shoes and have a great time. That's our theme for the night, or for the day,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And we saw in last week's show as well some of the improvements that are being made to the facility, the pouring of the concrete slab, which is being made for the marquee. But that's going to be a legacy item, one of many legacy items for Dinamo.
100%. And we're also happy that there will be legacy items, because so much goes into it, and we've just really felt the love and support from the whole community. It's just so overwhelming, and just the buzz around the club, I can't even explain to you. Just from our first volunteers information night, just the vibe around the club, it's going to be amazing. So we're all very excited.
Now, speaking of the volunteers, Lucy, you're the head of the volunteers, or the manager, I guess, or coordinator, however you want to call it. What an incredible, I guess, what's the word? Call up, or call to arms is the word I'm looking for. What was it last count? 270, 280 volunteers?
Yeah, we're at 272. So it's a huge number, but it's also a huge event. So, like Susie said, the buzz around the place has been amazing. The people, the work, the amount of effort put in this week in particular, it's just been all hands on deck, and everybody has really showed up and really turned it on, and the place is looking like $1 million. It looks amazing.
Despite all the hard work, despite the fact that there are 272 volunteers already that have put their hand up, and just for one moment, think that, a lot of NPL clubs don't get that many people to a game, let alone, they're going to have volunteers.
Yeah.
That's an incredible achievement, but it's still not enough, is it? We need more volunteers.
No, we did. We've got a breakdown of, I think, of over 600 shifts that need to be filled over that 4-day period. So a lot of people are really putting in the hours over the weekend, and we're so appreciative of it. But you can never have too much help. You can never have too much support, and you can never have too much manpower. So there's always room for more.
Yeah, absolutely. So we need more volunteers. It's not too late to put your hand up and get in touch with you guys. What's the best way, Lucy, to do that?
It would probably be through the volunteers' email address if you want to register, which is volunteers CST2024@gmail.com. And if you are around the club, we're here, someone's here. There's a QR code for a WhatsApp group. I'm pretty sure your friend's in it. I'm pretty sure they can add you to it. My phone number, 0424 379 446. You can text me and we'll get you on and we'll get you sorted.
Yeah. Now, Susie, apart from organising the ladies' lunch, and you're also obviously involved with the main or the executive committee of Dinamo, and you're also involved with Hrvatska Zora. How do you fit it all in?
So I'm not with the main committee at Dinamo at the moment. So I have been in the past in both junior and senior committees, but at the moment, so I'm just in the tournament organising main committee, and Hrvatska Zora, that's my love. Yeah. And Lucy's also part of Hrvatska Zora committee.
And we'll be seeing Hrvatska Zora in action during the course of this weekend.
Yes. So we'll be actually singing at the opening ceremony, the anthems, and we'll be in Nošnje. We'll be performing at the gala, and then also we have a few of the folklore groups performing on the Sunday, which will be the juniors.
And there are a lot of members of Zora as well, volunteering as well and being involved in that way. So
we've got a great community.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Now, Susie, also you've been involved with the main raffle as well. How's that all coming along?
Absolutely fantastic. So for those of you that don't know, so I've got a little flyer here, but pretty much the whole weekend, whoops, wrong way. Pretty much the whole weekend we'll be selling the tickets. The tickets are $50. All the prizes will be drawn on Sunday the 29th. It'll be during the Div1 men's final. First prize is $15,000 cash, second prize $3,500, and third prize $1,500.
There we go.
So
There's the,
come and buy your tickets, support the club, support the tournament. And yeah, so we'll sort of be selling them at all the different events that we have, and then also inside the club and at the merchandise stand as well.
Yes, prizes will be drawn on the Sunday, the 29th of September, and prizes will be transferred first thing or thereabouts on Monday, the 1st of the, actually, that's 2 days later, isn't it? On Tuesday. Yep.
Yes.
30 days of September, April, June, November. Yes, I remember that. That's
Give
right.
us a chance to pack up and recover.
Yeah, absolutely, that's true. Yeah. That's true. Now, we've got something for everyone on the tournament. And Susie, one of the things that you've also been involved in is also the kids' entertainment. Now, as a father of 2 kids that get very, very bored very, very quickly, this is something I really want to find out. What's in store for the kiddies?
Okay, so we have 3 large inflatables, 3 different large inflatables. So kids' entertainment will run from 11 till 3 p.m. On the Sunday. We'll have face painting. There'll be mini goals, balls for the kids to play with. You know, it's difficult here in Melbourne. Obviously, we have to always take into consideration what the weather's going to do, which is really difficult. So we've had to be really careful with what we've selected in terms of rides and things like that. So the inflatables are probably the safest option. But yeah, come and see us from 11 till 3. It'll be on ground 3, all the kids' entertainment, but you won't miss the inflatables. So bring
I'm sure they'll be very, very large and very, very visible, and that's going to be something certainly to look forward to. Ladies, fantastic! Thank you so much, And I guess any last words, if you'd like to pay homage to all of those people behind the scenes, Lucy, particularly with the volunteers and coordinating the volunteers. I'm sure that's such a massive, massive task and just unfathomable, I think, in many people's eyes. But such a big, big job and a great job that you guys are doing.
You know what it is? It is a big job, but I think what's made it easy is that there's so much willingness to help, and there's such a big push to make it a success.
Yeah.
From everybody really just putting up their hand and wanting to be a part of it. So I think that just speaks volumes of how much people love it here at Dinamo.
Yeah, absolutely. Susie, any last words for all the people behind the scenes?
Yes, everyone's been absolutely amazing. I think we've all got bonds here and different connections and kumovi and family, but I feel like it's brought everyone even closer together. Yeah. Just working together, different people meeting other people. It's just been fantastic. And I also just want to say a huge, huge thank you to all our sponsors, everyone that's put in time, money, just the support, and then, you know, just come along on the weekend and have an absolute party with us. That's what we want.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there by just saying have a party, and I think it is going to be a massive party. Win, lose or draw, rain, hail or shine, whatever the case may be, it is going to be certainly a weekend to remember. So, and ladies, thank you so much for all the work that you've done behind the scenes, but also thank you for coming on DinamoTV.
Thank you. Thanks, Donchi.
Good on you. Lucy HRBOLIC and SUZIE ILIC, they're two fantastic ladies from the organising committee. They do a wonderful, wonderful job. Folks, we're going to take a short break, and after this break, we are going to continue with DinamoTV, our special pre-tournament edition. Don't go away.
Westar Prestige is a family-owned second-generation business which is celebrating 50 years of operations this year. They're a specialist prestige collision repair facility situated in the western suburbs of Melbourne, Victoria. However, they service all regions in the state, with many of their clients travelling from far and wide to use their services. They're also able to provide a digital platform for quoting clients' vehicles who are unable to personally attend their premises. They're an authorised manufacturer-approved repair facilities for Mercedes-Benz, Tesla, Peugeot and Suzuki, and are proud of their ongoing affiliation with these brands. They also work closely with a number of Australia's largest insurance brands who entrust them to be part of their preferred repairer network. Their support staff are always happy to assist clients from the initial process of lodging claims through to the final stages of collection of the vehicle on completion of repairs and post-repair. So remember, for all your prestige collision repair needs, consider Westar Prestige, an award-winning, long-standing Australian-owned business.
Ja sam te čekao na kraju priče.
And there you have it, folks. That's the introduction to the hot new single released just on Sunday by popular Melbourne Croatian band, iconic Melbourne Croatian band, Major Minor. And we're now going to cross live to the studios of Major Minor, where we're going to be joined by... Gentlemen, good evening. How are we all?
How you going, Taj? Good evening.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you all on the show. And how are things going with you all at the moment?
Well, you had some wonderful music in that intro. It put me in a good mood.
Let's talk about that. Well, we've got Rob SPOLJAR. We've got MICKY COLINA, who we had on DinamoTV a few weeks ago. We've got PETAR KARDUM, and we've also got HRVOJEVIC from right to left, I suppose. Let's talk about how did it come about that you decided that was going to be the official anthem for the upcoming podcast, the tournament. Rob, first of all, to you.
Well, look, I mean, it was a song that we were tinkering with anyway. It's such an iconic track, you know. It's a song that everybody knows. It's at every party. Everybody sings it. We said, you know what, it would be nice to give it a bit of a fresh spin or our own take on it, and give it a bit of that live energy that we give, because I think, you know, the original one, as wonderful as it is very cemented in the 80s. So we thought, okay, no, we'll keep that 80s element, but give it a little bit of freshness. And then the tournament came up. We thought, well, hang on, that song and the tournament goes hand in hand. And never before has there been like an official song that goes with the tournament. We thought, well, why not? You know, why can't there be a soundtrack, or a theme song, so to speak? And we spoke to the wonderful people in St Albans at Dinamo, and they agreed and they loved the idea. So we made sure that we'll get the track finished in time. So we raced our way to finish that one and just got it mastered in time to release it in time for this 50th anniversary or 50th year of the Australian Croatian Soccer Tournament.
Now, Mickey, you've seen many Australian Croatian soccer tournaments, and you really know how to work the crowd, but also you can feel the energy of the crowd. And it's a song that you've played in the past, and there are many other songs as well that really gets the crowd happening. But over the years, what have been some of the songs that you can really fondly recall that have set the tournament crowds really ablaze, if you like?
Well, I think if you go back in time, obviously there was a period where Thompson really become a big flavour on a year-to-year basis. And, you know, I think when we were performing, there was some big songs, and, you know, obviously earlier days, JUTRISA, and then as time went on, Gini Kameni, and just to name a couple of his big ones. And then even back in 2018, I remember that Sunday we do a Zabršić boys mix. That sort of definitely hit the mark also. And then naturally, obviously, a track like this sort of was one that was a staple song that was used on so many occasions throughout the course of the tournaments. But yeah, there's a few that stand out for myself.
Yeah, Dalmatio too was a big one.
Yeah, yep, another one, big track. So yeah, there's quite a few there to mention, mate. But yeah, the other one that comes to mind.
This one's fine, probably. This dobra, stara, vremena is most consistent.
Stood the test of time.
Absolutely, yeah. It was no fluke that we sort of we chose the song for the tournament because it sort of went hand in hand, both with football and with the community here in Australia. And it's just, it's always been a theme song of tournaments, and now we've just made it official. That's all.
Yeah, Peter, you're one of the younger members of the band, I suppose. How does it, being a member of the band, and it's the tournaments coming up. There's a lot of commitment, a lot of hard work, and you really sort of have to stay focused. But you want to enjoy yourself and be part of the partying crowd. How easy is it, or how hard is it to balance the two?
Look, it's always a juggling act. You need to get the work done, but then you want to have party at the same time. But look, even when you got, especially these big gigs, these tourney gigs, like especially Friday night, and if I can say, Sunday's going to be absolutely massive, and it's so much fun with these guys, and everybody's.
I don't know what you're talking about. But, I mean,
the rock and roll lifestyle
we take it very
continues.
seriously. You know what I mean?
Some more than others.
It's a fine line. It's a fine juggling.
Fine line.
I guess part of the touching with we also enjoy the fact that you're on stage too. That's part of the party. That as much as you're on one side of the fence, but in performing, being part of the occasion, and that's really something you love doing, and obviously doing with thousands of people. It seems to be like everyone's connected, and everyone's just playing a role, and we're just playing our role.
Yeah. Now, George, let's have a look at the different albums that Major Minor have released over the years. Of course, there was the iconic Dobar Tek, and then there was the original Ceste Života, and of course the live album as well. But over the years, you've played, as I've said, in front of lots of different crowds. Was there one particular song or songs that you really enjoy playing? Because we often hear from musicians, they get sick of playing the same old song. But is there a song that you really look forward to playing at each set?
Ooh, that's a real good question.
Oh.
I don't know if I can pick a particular song, but there's quite a few that probably stand out to me. I've always loved playing Cinemoy, Thompson.
Yep.
That's a fantastic song because it's got that rock element, but it's also got a real true sort of heartstrings connection, if you know what I'm saying, being a parent too and everything, I guess. But that's probably one that stands out a lot in my head, but there's been way too many. I love Dusha Papita, still that rock version that we do. I always love performing that because I get to sing too on that one. So too many to mention. It's just...
Croatian very prolific songwriters, and they're very good songwriters.
They're passionate songs, so it's different to the English scene where you can be singing about just ordinary crap and the singing scene like you know what's out there, all that shit. But crow music is for real usually. It's about real things. It's about, real life. It's about love. It's about God. It's about everything here. And then you don't get that in the English scene. So it's...
And is it that, guys, if any one of you can answer this, is it that emotional, that heartfelt emotion in the lyrics that I think transcends generations? Doesn't matter if it's the first or the second or the third generation of kids that probably can't even speak Croatian, but they can sing a song and they can understand it, and they go really nuts. How do you guys sort of feel about that, like up on stage when you see, kids that are 10 and people that are in their 60s going nuts to the song all, as one generation?
It's a different question, like if I could just say, like, over the years, I know I've had a few people that have come to our shows that are non-Croatian. And there's one thing that they all had in terms of like their after show reaction. And they were just freaked out by the passion in the crowd, everyone singing along and just going off to certain tracks throughout the course of the night. And that was some of the shows that we did locally to some of the bigger ones. But the non-Croatian that would come to these shows, they were just blown away by how much passion there was in the room and through the music, and everyone was into it. They all sort of were really freaked out by that, you know, and I think that's another example of
it's kind of an aggressive passion. I remember when I first came back to the band, early 2000s, and I was in the English scene or the Aussie scene for a long time before that, and we had some big nights, don't get me wrong, but it was nothing like, the first couple of gigs I played with these guys when I came back, it was scary. I'm telling you now. You sit there playing and you see people have got these faces, they're contorted and they look like they want to kill you. And you're thinking, is this guy enjoying it or is he hating it or what's the story? Surely enough, you sort of realise, no, he's actually enjoying it more than I've ever seen in my life before. So, and that was comparing to a pre-Sloboda as well, because I was in the original lineup and it was never that passionate back then. It was, don't get me wrong, it was still good and it was fun, but not like it is
different level
after we sort of got our freedom here.
Yeah, Rob. It's obviously the tournament disco. That's become so iconic now. This year, you guys will be headlining that on the Friday night. What are you looking forward to most from that event?
From the Friday,
alcohol, probably alcohol.
Look,
Friday for that.
I think it's something that everyone's touched on already, and it's that passion. It's playing in front of 1,000 people. Which unfortunately the limitation being at inflation on for the Friday gig, but it's going to have 1,000 people who are there sitting in front of you singing passionately. That just makes it all worthwhile. You know, sometimes when you get gig after gig, it can be tedious, but when you have those sort of nights and you got people like that, and sometimes with tears in their eyes, you go, that's what makes it. That's why you do it. That's what makes it worthwhile, and that's what even makes you connect, not just as a musician or whatever. It just connecting with everyone that's at the tournament. That's what makes the tournament so special, because you come together with people you haven't seen in 12 months or maybe in 5 years. I don't know how, but it's like you saw him yesterday, because there is that connection that is indescribable, something that you can't define. It's something that goes beyond words, and you have a connection, and you just have a look, and you look at one another, and you understand what the other person's feeling. Yeah. You know, it's like almost like a biological connection, let's say.
And it's a privilege too, isn't it?
Absolutely, it's a privilege. And we've been privileged to play, you know, dozens really of tournaments. Yeah. I mean, in my time, I think I've been at 15, and I've only been in the band for half its existence, you know. So being part of that and headlining all of these nights and being part of, and thinking back to all of these gigs are so special. They really are special. They were something that, you know, when you get old and grey, we're starting to get that way a bit. But you know, you start reflecting on it. You say, what a privilege it was to be part of it. You know?
Well, I tell you what, gents, playing in front of your hometown crowd, it's going to be massive. It's going to be huge. We cannot wait, that's for sure. But one last thing, we'll go from left to right. George, starting with you, what are you most looking forward to at the Dinamo tournament?
It's a toss-up between the Lignia and the Chivapi.
Maybe that.
The Lignia usually win. You don't mean food, obviously. It's that concert atmosphere, You're playing, it's not a normal gig, it's a real concert. You can just stop with the band's almost playing nothing, and it's just a vocal thing going on between you and the crowd. That's the parts that are, to me, the real moments that you never forget, you know.
Yeah. Peter, what about you? What are you looking forward to most?
Yeah, on the back of what George said, the concert atmosphere, like, you're a Croatian cover band, but if, like Mickey said before, if you're a non-Croatian and you're just an English person, it's probably like you're at an actual concert watching, some massive band. Yeah, that definitely is what I'm looking forward to. Yeah, just that atmosphere of the concert for sure.
Rob?
Yeah, look, it's the same. You know, when I've shown people videos, from work and non-Croats, I show them, they say, well, hang on, is this a soccer festival or is it a music festival? Because it looks huge. But what are you looking forward to? It's, again, just to get together again with so many people you've met, throughout the years and developed a connection with. But most of all, I think the Sundays come to a point where it's just incredible, and playing that is going to be, and I think there'll probably be in excess of 5,000 people.
Yeah.
And being there is just going to, I think that's going to cap it off for me.
And last but certainly not least, a true living legend of Dinamo St Albans Dinamo, and someone who we had on the show a few weeks back in the Dinamo Living Legend series. Mickey C, you've got the last word. What are you most looking forward to?
I look like the lads, I think, touched on all these different feelings or emotions that you go through. And I think, like, for me personally, the tournament's become and has been for a while probably the biggest event on our Croatian calendar in our community in this country.
Yeah.
And just, again, you know, being humbled from a band perspective to be part of that occasion and play our part is probably massive in itself. But again, you know, 4 or 5 days, bringing pretty much people from right across the country in one place to celebrate being Croatian and football in this country, and even beyond the football. Football is one thing, but I think it's become more than just that. I mean, that is the reason it happens, but there's so many other things drawn into this weekend, and just be part of that is humbling in itself for me personally, and we look forward to it. And I can't wait to be on stage and in every other capacity across the weekend.
Awesome. On that note, gents, thank you so much for joining us on DinamoTV. We look forward to seeing you throughout the weekend.
Thanks, George.
Major Minor with their new single, a twist on an absolute classic, Za dobra, stara vremena, for all the old good times. We'll be back very, very shortly. Don't go away. You're watching DinamoTV. There you go, and that pretty much brings us to the end of tonight's show. Before we do go, we must acknowledge some of the platinum sponsors that have jumped on board in last week or so. We've had a massive amount of them jump on board. Apart from Evolution Electrical and Future Tech that have also been on board, Penley Constructions as well. Well, here we go. We've got a couple of new ones that have joined us along with Penley Constructions. AIM Steel and Fabrication, Bazoom, of course, that was mentioned by Danny JUTRISA in his interview, of course, Penley Constructions. And then just this week we had 3 more: Formdeck Australia, MC Labour and Trackworks as well. So thank you very, very much to all of those companies, to all of our sponsors, our gold sponsors, silver sponsors, ladies' lunch sponsors. The list goes on and on and on. It is going to be an epic long weekend this week in Melbourne, and we look forward to capturing all the colour, all the excitement, all the energy, all the pride, all the action from the Australian Croatian Soccer Tournament this weekend at Dinamo. And we'll be showcasing some of the highlights on next week's show, our season finale. It'll be our very, very final episode of DinamoTV for 2024, and that will air next Thursday night at our usual time of 8 p.m. next Thursday night. Until then, look forward to catching up with you all from all of us here at DinamoTV, and certainly everyone behind the scenes. We look forward to catching up with you in person at Dinamo this coming weekend. Folks, on that note, good night and thank you for being with us tonight. Bye.